Hello and welcome to another beautiful day on Oweleke TV. This is Monday, and Monday comes with a whole lot. We are here to bring you to speed with the headlines for the day. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and of course, to my right here, we have the lady that has been outnumbered this morning. Anthony Nwokolo, good morning.
Good morning, Ramsey.
How was your weekend?
Why are we always
Quite well.
outnumbering her?
Yeah, we are always
My weekend went
outnumbering
very
her because she's the lady standing among men.
Okay, blessed among men.
Blessed art thou amongst men. All right.
Maybe I think we will try and do a favor. We'll call somebody to join us so that maybe from time to time they'll be outnumbering you.
Oh, not you.
You
don't want
plan.
to.
You get a plan. You get a plan.
Christopher is planning.
He's plotting a coup.
A cry for Antonia.
A cry for Antonia. Good morning, Christopher.
Good morning. How was your weekend?
Very beautiful. We had a very beautiful time. All right, quickly, let's bring you to speed with the headlines for the day as we start with the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Above the header, I have this headline which says, Nigeria, Qatar sign agreements on education, solid minerals, others. And just one rider to that story, and the rider says Tinubu to Qatar investors report any bribe-seeking cabinet member. How does it sound? All right, maybe the Qataris will feel, oh, these people takes bribe. All right, details of that you can get on page 5 and 31 of the Vanguard newspaper. Then to my right-hand side, above the header, still on Vanguard newspaper, COVID-19 probe. Refund or account for 4 billion naira, reps tells airline. A lot went down during the COVID-19. You can get the details of that on page 31. Then the big story from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Federal government fights inflation, mobs up 5 trillion naira. Then I have about 3 riders to that story. The first rider says to raise interest rates, reprise fixed income yields. I take that again. To raise interest rates, reprise fixed income yields. All right. Then the second rider says CBN meets foreign investors over FX reforms, MPR hike. The last rider to that story, which is actually going to be the last from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, says there will be free entry exit. All right. Maybe, I don't know, at the borderline. Okay, if you want to get the details of what these headlines are saying, just get to the vendor, pick a copy of the Vanguard newspaper, peruse through it, and at least feed on any of these headlines that catches your fancy. Let's move to the next paper this morning.
All right, on the leadership newspaper, the first headline we'll be taking is actually the big story. Hardship, Shun politics, address current hunger, CSOs tell president. And we'll have some riders to the story. Residents loot warehouse in Abuja. Police arrest 15 suspects. Hunger, cumulative effect of the past, says Umuahi. And customs probes stampede at rice distribution center. You can get the details of this story on page 4 of the leadership newspaper. Now, moving on to the next headline. Tinubu to Qatar investors, report Nigerian bribe takers to me. Report Nigerian bribe takers to me. The details of the story is on page 10 of the leadership newspaper. And finally, on the leadership newspaper, reps asks airlines to refund 4 billion naira COVID-19 fund. Reps ask airlines to refund 4 billion naira COVID-19 fund. And you can get the details of that story on page 30 of the leadership newspaper.
All right, from Daily Trust, Tinubu to investors, report any official who demands
On almost all
bribe.
the
Every
papers
paper
this morning,
report,
Christopher.
As a matter of fact, when you read,
Yeah.
Antonia read, and I also saw it here, I wanted to skip it because it's like, but again, how do they take this bribe? You think they will come and say, if you don't give me 1 million naira, I won't sign this contract for you? In between, in fact, it's about maybe skyrocketing what the investors are supposed to pay. If you go to ministries, you hear what You see, corruption, most times we target to politicians alone. In ministries, what is going on in ministries will baffle you when you investigate.
The problem, what I feel is, it is bad when people take advantage of situations.
Yes.
Especially
To make more money for
make more money
themselves.
for
yes,
themselves.
especially-
When others
Are suffering,
dying,
and you do a substandard job.
You do a
That is
substandard
it.
job.
Now, there is this woman, I don't know if she was in government before, but she's a pastor in Jos now. She said, any civil servant who has a house in abroad, in Nigeria, in Maitama, and also can train his children in abroad, maybe 2-3 children in abroad, that person is a corrupt official.
How sure are you?
That with
That's
what they are
very-
paying
that's
you,
very wild accusation.
one, as a civil servant, you are not allowed to have a business. So if you are having a business, it's corruption.
Okay, a civil servant is
No,
also
no, no,
allowed
no,
to
no.
have business.
You are not allowed to.
Ah.
You are not
In this
allowed.
current economic situation,
No.
you can't stand on one leg.
But then, more than 2 streams of income is
Yes.
better.
4 streams, 5
More so
streams.
that some of them are even redundant in the office. They don't
Yeah.
get to
You
do
are already in the
anything.
office. I can put it to you now. When you go to federal secretariats, there are
Nobody's
so
there.
many persons from level.
Some are still taking their bets
Yes,
at home.
exactly.
And would resume by 10 a.m. thereabouts. So
That is part of the corruption.
this is
Oh,
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
So moving ahead, NEF cautions against relocation of fighting equipment. Custom opens 9-day window for vehicle duty regularization. Man who returned 100 million gifted Hajj slot and cash. I think that is commendable. He found 1 million naira, returned it to the owner, and now he has been rewarded by a free flight to Hajj. They are sponsoring him for Hajj, and also they have given him cash. I think we must commend him and also commend those
Who
Who
appreciated
appreciated
yes.
him because
because others will also, you see, of late you hear people iPhone, somebody will get iPhone,
Yeah.
return it to the owner and all that.
I think Nigerians they are getting better.
No, if not for
Slowly.
hardship.
No, we still have good Nigerians.
Yes,
No,
we
sure.
still have-
Yeah,
we
it's
still
not
have-
about
But the
Ni-
bad ones,
Are
they
still
will
there.
never return it.
No, it's not about Nigeria.
The bad
It is not
ones.
about- let me tell you the difference between Nigeria and the
Developed ones.
the developed ones. The good thing, America and UK, for instance, they use the media to cover a lot of their problems or their setback or limitations. But we here, any little to use social media. Before you know it, everything is out.
No, in developed worlds, that's a level to which they respect the media. The media is highly respected.
Yeah.
Because there is nothing like padding information. There is nothing like maybe trying to you can't even. There's nothing you will do. You must be fair. Okay, objective in your reportage.
Yeah.
Anything you're doing, you have to be fair. So they are very, very scared of
All right,
the media.
moving forward, Hishba, strong push for Daurawa to return. Daurawa was the head of Hishba. Last week, he tendered his resignation, but why he wants to return? Of course, Hishba is in charge. It's like a task force in charge of
This Sharia.
not Sharia per se, maybe people who stand by the road to do hook up. Then
Okay,
People who
against
take
immorality.
alcohol
where
and
alcohol
all
is
that.
prohibited.
They are the ones that are responsible
Okay.
for what's it called?
Did they give them disciplinary actions?
Exactly, and then once they see you bringing beer into Kano, what they do is to seize it and then
Make you pay fine.
No, they will destroy it.
Okay.
They destroy it, and then that was why Wike, before he left River State as governor, he questioned. He said, "Why would they be destroying things like that? Meanwhile, the revenue generated from the tax being paid generates revenue, and then they share it equally with the state.
Well,
So why will you?
that is their religious belief.
And then the unnecessary, maybe somebody's personal life in the name of a task force, you want to control somebody's social life. I'm not saying that people who engage in prostitution, hook up, and all that should not be discouraged from it. But there are limits to what they should do. Okay, the big story there. Residents lose Abuja warehouses rather, steal foodstuffs, roofing sheets. Now, NEMA, in this story, NEMA says she has already beefed up what's the security around the facilities. But my question here is that, so with the hardship in this country, there are foods in their warehouses.
What are they keeping it for?
What are they keeping it for?
For who?
For who?
What are
For
they keeping
ants
it for?
and
When people
other
are
When people
hungry.
are
rodents to
hungry,
eat.
so will you now say the people that went
When
there to
people are
loot
hungry.
those food items are morally
Well,
wrong?
See, Christopher, we are not saying looting or vandalism
We are not justifying it.
is
It's a good
okay.
act, yeah.
But then the government and the authorities should for once do the right thing. You understand? Try as much as possible to make these people feel comfortable.
During,
there is food. Why
yes.
not give it out?
Yeah,
What-
during what do you call it?
Why hold
During
it?
COVID.
During
COVID-19, yes.
Look, imagine what happened across the
Across
nation.
the-
Whoever told you that there were food like that in those stores? You wouldn't know.
If not that the NSAS
Okay,
process actually
look at the one
revealed
that happened in Oba's house.
Exactly.
What for? For how many years?
It's so sad.
All right, so sad. That would be the
Very
size of
sad.
story from Daily Trust this morning.
Well, let's quickly go to the Nigerian Tribune. Time is far spent. Above the header, I have this headline which says, more reactions, trail regulatory actions on PDC operations. Page 21 is where you can get that. Then the big story on the Nigerian Tribune today says, residents loot warehouse in Abuja, steal food items. Then two riders to that story. The first rider says, vandalized buildings belongs to FCT Agric Department. I take that again. Vandalized building belongs to FCT Agric Department, meaning this food and this things diluted is actually in the warehouse of the Agric Department. Only God knows who they actually kept it for. Then the second rider says, please arrest 15 suspects, recover 26 bags of maize. Well, I don't know what will happen to these people who have actually been arrested, but then we should know that these things happen. It happened as a result of hunger. Then this on the last says Nigeria, Qatar sign agreements on education investment orders. I took that in the first paper, and the details of that you can get on page.
I actually want to know the agreement signed. Is it for Qatar to come and invest in education in Nigeria, or Nigeria to invest
in the education in Qatar?
Well,
if you want to get the story in full, please tell them.
Well, if you want to get the story in full, there are two riders to that story, which is actually going to give you an insight. The first rider says, Nigeria has best returns on investment, according to Tinubu. Then the second one says, tells Qatari investors to report any official who asks for bribe, meaning they are the ones coming to invest in Nigeria. Hopefully, that's what we feel. So I think Ajuri Ngalale should come out, the spokesman to the president should come out and make Nigerians understand this visit more, because a lot of people were not so comfortable when the president was traveling for this conference, and the meeting has held already, okay, as against the first backdrop that it was not going to hold, but then later it held. We are so glad that it has happened. Then if they are coming to invest in education, it's going to be a good one. And this is going to be the size of today's newspaper review. We want to go on break. And after this break, it's going to be time for the big story. Stay with us.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleke TV. Visit our website at www.oweleke.tv for a thrilling journey. Oweleke TV, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back from that break. It is still outnumbered, and now it is time for the big stories, where you have right here on set Ramsey, Anthonia, and Christopher. We want to talk about this because anytime there is an opposition in politics, so many things happen. If you want to say anything, the government in power will politicize it. They will say, well, they are saying this because they don't like our party. But I think it is high time we begin to put the people first instead of politics and personal ambitions. Let's quickly get to the leadership newspaper this morning so that we can bring to you the big story. The big story already, it's been taken. Hardship, all right? That is at the top. Then the major big story today says, Shun politics, address current hunger. CSOs tell President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. What did they say? Shun politics. Let everything not be politicized. At least there are some criticisms that are constructive enough to set you on path. Like Labour Party said something sometimes back, and they said, well, it is not a crime, okay, in an environment, in a climate, in a sane country. What normally happens is that you seek advice from people, irrespective of political affiliation, irrespective of who you are. Like the president said on assumption of office, he said, well, my administration is going to be all encompassing. I'm going to bring in technocrats, people from other parties and all of that. We saw that. Wike is the minister of FCT from another party. We don't know how that happened, but then I think it's part of what the president meant. But then, shun politics, address current hunger. Well, there was a protest in Niger State, other parts of Nigeria, and a general protest.
Oyo
State. Even the
Niger State.
The governor was even part of that
Kogi
of Oyo
State.
State, Kogi State. Every state in Nigeria had that protest, and that's to show that there is hunger in the land. This is very, very pathetic to the extent that people are coming out to go loot, vandalize warehouses where they have seen that food is being stored while people are hungry. But then some of the persons who are in governance are going about their normal businesses because they are not being affected directly. And now the civil society organization is saying this loud and clear to the now administration that they should shun politics. Give attention to the plight of the people. The people are hungry. Don't say, well, this protest is being sponsored like the Senate president said sometimes back. I think at this point in time, my colleagues will add their voice to the conversation, but I would like to take some riders to that story before I bring them in. One of the riders says, residents loot warehouse in Abuja, and please, I've gone ahead to arrest 15 persons. We just want to say a hungry man is an angry man. So they should temper justice with mercy with these 15 persons, even though we're not justifying the looting. Hunger, okay, cumulative effect of the past that is coming from Umahi, the Minister of Works. Well, customs probe a stampede at rice distribution center. Why wouldn't there be stampede? There will be stampede because people will be struggling to get this food. A lot of people are hungry. Is this where we are supposed to be? My colleagues will add their voice to the conversation right now. It's so pathetic. It's so painful because everyone is going through this hit. Then you want to politicize this. This is not the right way to go for me. Colleagues, can we please add our voice to the conversation?
All right.
Christopher, shun politics.
Yes.
Address current
Civil
hunger.
society organization.
Civil society organization tells the president. How sensitive do you think the president has been to the plight of the people, especially as it has to do with the hunger in Nigeria?
Yes, that is simply because over time, one of the tricks of this APC-led government for the past 10 years or 9 years now is that when you try to criticize them positively, they change it the other way around. They give you this impression that they are doing their best, and so you do not have the right to question them, especially if the criticism is coming from PDP. They will tell
That's
PDP,
the opposition party.
yes, they will tell PDP, your 16 years of rule is the reason why we are where we are today. Umai, that you mentioned here, and he's saying that what the current situation is because of the past.
Yeah.
Is Umai not part of the past? Was he not a governor of a state under a PDP before he wanted to maybe be the sole candidate of APC from the east, and then he now decided to join APC, left PDP as a governor? without the rule of law, what's it called? Electoral law taking effect on himself and the former Senate president. Are they not parts of the past of this country? Now, look at what happened. Either NEMA warehouse or agri department, as alleged by the paper, that the food that people went away with is either some people are saying it's from NEMA, some people say it's from agri department, wherever the thing was. So Nigerians are suffering, and then you are keeping food this way, and then now you are arresting people because you felt they have they took the law into their hands. They should even be happy that it was stealing. Some people will come there, raise it down, and then you won't even get anything, and then you'll be made to account for it. We are not trying to
justify
it. We are not trying to. But the truth of the matter is that the federal government must listen to the clarion call of the civil society organization, shun politics, do the needful, provide food. There are two ways to this: short-term solution and long-term solution. What is the short-term solution? Is providing grains like they are doing now, but unfortunately, they are left in the warehouses to do what there for termites, or for people to customize it, or call business people to come and buy it at cheaper rate for them to go and sell to people.
Later,
instead of I was at Radio House about a month ago, ministerial briefing by the Minister of Agric, and I think how many thousands of grains that they said they were going to share across the state and local government. Probably that is what they left there. And people, there are some good people that are still in the ministry. They must have heard that people want to hoard this and then sell it for their own personal use.
Then they leak it to the public.
That is it.
Then the public will now do the needful.
They have invaded the warehouse, and that is where we are now.
And that's what I wanted to say. How did they get the information that there was food here?
Yeah, because from the ministry, junior staff who are not
they can vandalize, they can break
the key.
Exactly. And then lastly, the long-term solution. Farming season is I think day before yesterday there was serious rain in Kogi State, Embark to be precise. Meaning by today we expect that people should start going to farm. So the federal government should provide tractors, mechanized farming system for people to go back to farm. Above all, provide security for farmers. So that next year we will have bounty harvest, and then it will solve our present situation. That will be all from me. That will be all from me for now.
All right. So Antonia, as it is right now, people can't hold it anymore.
At all.
People can't hold it.
A hungry man is an angry man.
People can't even pretend about it.
No,
we know that Nigerians are very strong people.
Yes.
You know, they can bear things. They can develop shock absorber for situation and shock absorber.
Yeah.
You know, for so many things. As a matter of fact, do you see this? Okay, as he said, it is a clarion call from the civil society organization. Do you see the government politicizing what is happening in any way?
Yes, they are politicizing the current realities of Nigeria, because the NLC last week wanted to embark on strike, and then they backed out because they received threats. The NLC, the civil societies organizations, even Catholic Bishops Conference, they've been speaking of different organizations have been giving their constructive criticisms to the government, telling them these are the current, in case you are not seeing it, this is the plight of Nigerians. This is what's going on in the country. Please see to it that these issues are settled. But it seems the government has turned a blind eye to the problems Nigerians are experiencing. And all of these, and they try to shift the blame. They try to attach sentiments to whatever comment is made about their administration. The people are just showing you that all you've been hearing is the truth. And this is our own way of telling you we are angry. You are hungry, for instance, and you're living close to, you find out that there's a warehouse close to where, won't you go there to get food? When you stay from morning till night, you have children that are crying, Mommy, give me food, Daddy, give me food. You can't get food. Or maybe your salaries are being delayed or whatnot.
My dear, in Imo State, a friend of mine who is a reverend father posted on Facebook a woman whose husband is bedridden with triplets
Okay.
was on the street of Douglas. If you know Douglas in Imo State, Owerri town, begging for food.
Can you imagine
And
that?
then he saw her
Children that should be celebrated.
exactly
Children that
triplets,
should even be in school.
begging
They
for
should be in
food.
school.
And then he gave her money,
Triplets.
and then he also posted her account number
Okay, for people to donate.
to donate. And I'm happy with the response I got. Now this is a Nigerian in our own country.
Do you know the painful aspect of that?
Last week again, we heard somebody collapsed somewhere. I don't know which of the states now. And then they rushed and gave me a plate of food. You need
And that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
all.
I think I saw
I
that
think you
story
saw
on
that.
social
That
media.
was all.
Yes.
You-
Just gave him a plate because Nigerians are going. When
See.
you've not eaten, Ramsey,
Come.
when you've not eaten, you can't function properly. The brain needs food to function.
See, food.
It's very important. Why is it one of the basic necessities of
the
life?
life.
Food,
Food.
clothing, shelter.
Shelter.
Those are the basic. Once you have a
Light,
good,
we are not getting it.
No light.
no, light is
Water, we are-
secondary. Light is
What-
even
no, I
secondary.
think water we are not
In this,
getting- we are
in
not
this
getting
extent,
it.
light is
So
secondary.
if you cannot provide food,
Food.
you cannot provide security.
See, not
You don't-
providing food is
It's
an
sad, it's
indirect
sad.
way of saying, well, we don't care about you. Whatever happens, it's
Absolutely.
none of our business. But then the painful aspect of the whole story is that don't we have people representing these constituencies anymore?
the money is with those people you are talking about.
The House of Rep members
Yes.
who are
Eh,
representing the people at the grassroots are not even saying
in
anything.
in
I was
December-
expecting them to even front
In-
this protest
in
because they are
December.
the closest
Yes,
for the
yes.
people.
In
But they
the-
are so quiet.
No, they are not quiet. They are not quiet.
What are they saying? What are
The-
they doing?
The problem is this money is actually given to them. In December, let me tell you, each senator in Nigeria was given 200 million
So
naira.
where is it?
Where is it?
Each member of House of Representative was given 150 million naira to do what? To buy rice to share to the poor masses. In my own Kogi, my own state, I challenged Senator Chocho. Show us where you distributed the rice the federal government gave you money. The following day, I saw that he had already started sharing. I don't know how he measured it. Up until 2 weeks ago.
Some persons
You
will
don't
get a
know
cup
how
of
it
rice.
is.
Some
Yes,
persons
exactly.
will get
I
a
want
voodoo.
to-
Now, let me
Oh
tell
my
you,
God,
when I
what
did
a
my
country.
investigation,
Man, my head.
when I did my
head.
investigation, I heard that a mudu and 1,000 naira.
Can you imagine that?
Can
A
imagine.
mudu and 1,000 naira.
in your
is
own
go-
country.
in your own
And this is
country.
You are
March.
becoming a refugee in your
Again,
own country.
the person representing the Kina Basa Federal House of Representative, IGN, just last week, something they gave him in December, it was just 2 weeks ago, that he started showing us a picture of where he kept those bags of rice, close to my village.
The same picture of where he kept the rice.
Yes.
Not
even
So,
distributed.
the intention is that he hoarded them, and then we heard that probably maybe this week, they will give them money again to buy grain. Maybe he wants to use that one now to cover up for this one.
And
Then he will
then
carry
keep
the
the
money.
money.
He will
This one.
pocket the money.
Natacha was the only senator, only person among those elected members of National Assembly that bought 9,000 bags of rice and then added solar. You need to go to her constituency and see what she is doing there.
Well, she won from the court, so at least she should prove to the people.
That
No,
she's
she didn't. She
standing.
didn't win from the court. The people voted for her.
Okay, Natasha.
She only went to the court to collect
her mandate.
the mandate of the
That's
people.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. She went to collect her mandate from the court, and she's doing
So
something
the
great
call,
right
the
now.
clarion call of Civil Society of Organization of Nigeria is timely.
And not
It's
out of place,
timely,
yes,
and they should not
absolutely.
politicize this.
All right. Well, as it is, I think this is a call, not just to the president alone, but the senators. I think we should feel ashamed. Why am I saying this? Because someone that has the same life like yourself, someone who has the same breath like yourself, someone who one day is going to go 6 feet below the earth like yourself is being treated as if that person doesn't have the same life that you have. This is not good at all for our country. So I want to say, Everything should not be politicized. Let's do the right thing. There is hunger in the land. And I want to tell you the truth that if people are being pushed to the wall, I'm afraid. I wouldn't want people to take laws into their hands. Oweleke never supports that. We don't support people going against the law. But then when people are pushed through the wall, I don't know, you expect the
unexpected.
When there is a saying in my place, when you push a goat to the wall, the goat will turn back to bite you.
Even though...
May that not be our portion?
That's not our portion. Well, this is going to be the size of the big story today. You can see that almost everyone in the studio here is angry. Antonia has vetted her anger. Same thing, Christopher. Well, if we want to keep talking about this, we can't exhaust what we have in ourselves. What's on our mind right now to say? We won't finish talking about it, but then we just want to put a stop to it right here. You can quickly get to the YouTube channel, Oweleke TV, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and of course turn on the notification button so that you will be the first to be notified anytime serious issues like this is coming on, because entertainment and of course information and education is what you get on Oweleke TV. And drop your comment so that you can actually be part of what is happening right here. My name is Ramsey, and it's been Antonia and Christopher. Do have a beautiful week ahead of you. Bye bye for now.